Hello! So today I thought I would do something a little bit different, but kind of the same, right? So today I thought, we talk about a lot about how words and how they're used are different. And sometimes the English words have a different spelling, but have kind of the same meaning. So I thought we could discuss that and how we can show it in a different sign, or that concept. So some things are a little bit the same, but here we go. So the first, and it's two words that sound the same, and we kind of use them interchangeably. See, I did this and this and this, like trade, interchangeably. And so that is affect as opposed to effect, right? Effect. So affect with an A, it means to influence, right? So an effect with an E-F-E-C-T is as a result of, right? So affect is to influence, and effect, I can't spell it this morning, is as a result or as a consequence, right? So you see the difference? Influence, I'm going to influence, here's this piece of whatever, and I'm going to influence and spread it out there. Or it's a result of, or the consequence of, the outcome. Okay, and the second one, this is one is already as opposed to already. So the first one is spelled all, A-L-L, already, and then R-E-A-D-Y. So that would mean, are you all ready, or are you just ready? So I don't know that I would say already if I'm trying to get someone to know that this is that you are prepared to do something. I would say ready, with that whole facial asking a question. Are you ready? Are you ready? So ready, because this is for planned, right? Or you could do ready. It doesn't matter. And I do it differently. Depends on how I'm saying it in my mind, right? But this is to be, you're all planned. Everything is completely ready. And then the other one, the A-L-R-E-A-D-Y, that means that you should have already done it, right? So you could look at someone and say, you're not finished with that homework. Homework not finished, it should be finished already. Right? So it's like a double negative. But here we are, as if you've asked someone to do a task, and you should have already done that, right? And then one thing about ASL, sometimes it can be a longer, which we've already discussed, or it can be shorter. So in this sense, for already, you should have already done that. Finish, should finish. And that whole look on your face, it should have already been finished. So that's the difference between that, A-L-R-E-A-D-Y, as opposed to, oh, are you ready? Are you ready for your speech tomorrow? You ready? That's already, A-L-L-R-E-A-D-Y. Are you all ready? So if you're writing in English, it would be A-L-L, already. Are you all ready? Or you should have finished it already. You should have finished already. You see what I'm saying? It's the whole facial and the whole way you do it. Between and among. So between is between two different things. So if you're going to choose between those two, right? It's basically a K hand shape, but it's really, you're just doing these two things. Can you see that? It's darker, two things. Between these two things. If it's among something, think of something. This is how I use among, right? You've got all this, and so it's almost like a maze where you're drawing it among. So it's more things to choose from. So among all these different black dresses, which one would you wear? Or I've decided it's between these two, right? Between these two. Or, to play a game is between these two, or among all the people who applied, the candidates, so to speak. So I would do among. That's kind of a fun sign. among all these people, or among all these buildings, right? Or between these two. So we get concept and we get some English clarification. Because sometimes you're going, I don't know, what does that mean? Bring versus take, and we've already done this one. If you're bringing it to me, right? It's here and I'm bringing it to me, or I'm going to take it to the neighbor, right? I'm going to bring it to the neighbor. So that's not correct English. You would take it to the neighbor. So you bring it to yourself, or you're going to take it to someone else. So even though, or to take, to leave, but that's a different, we're going to go to that one. But on that one is to bring, or I'm going to take it, right? Or I brought it to them. So that's an easy one, because that's what we do with these adjectives. They're directional. Okay, and the next one is conscience versus conscious. Okay, and they sound alike too. So anyway, for me, because I'm like George W. Bush, where I just make up my own stuff. I don't know why I said that. Okay, so conscious, with like spelled like C-O-N, and science, that means to have moral principles. So I have a conscious. So you have you could do moral, but moral is a variety of different things put into one, like a category, just like jewelry, weapon, those kinds of things are categories. So you could say, oh, I have this moral. You could spell it moral, or it's inside, or inside I feel. So that's when I have a conscious. I don't want to do that because inside I feel blah, blah, blah. Or because of a moral obligation, I feel I need to do that. So it's still something that's inside you. So you can do that whole concept. But the other one, I'm conscious of that, of that topic. So you're aware of it. So conscious is aware. Just kind of a flattened B hand shape. Aware. Which also means know, right? And we do bring down here. Now, you could say, I know, but that's almost like I know that information, right? That's how I see it. But it's like I'm aware about that. I'm aware. So it's really know. But people move it down. But actually, you should really learn the correct way. So this is know or aware. But when they do know that, that means I know that, right? That's how I would have that inflection. Okay. So the next one is emigrate, E-M-I-G-R-A-T-E, versus immigrate, which almost means the same thing, I-M-M-I-G-R-A-T-E. So here we go. So the one with the E-M-I-G-R-A-T-E, it's Monday. It means to leave a country, to leave. So you're leaving. Right? I'm going to leave that country. I'm going to immigrate. And the next one is to emigrate, which we always think, and this is the sign for immigrate or immigrant. And there's another one that's a little bit on the derogatory if it's illegal, but this is to immigrate, or they are an immigrant. But this is what it means when you do the IMM. That means that you are moving. The EM means you're leaving that country, and the IM means you're moving to that country. Oh, they lived in China, and now they're moving to India, right? They're immigrating to another country. So just kind of keep that in mind. Immigration, what we think of it is moving. But like over in Europe, they have all these different countries, and people will EM. They are just leaving that country, maybe working at a different in a different country. And they do that here now. With the oil and stuff, they'll move. They'll go to another country to work. They're not moving there. They're just living there and working, and You see what I'm saying? If you move to a different country, that means maybe you're going to have citizenship there. It's going to be a permanent, or it's going to be there for several years. And the EM is like, I'm just there to work maybe for a few months, come back, and then, go back and forth. That's what a lot of oil people do. They'll go back and forth. They'll be there a month and they come home for a month and back and forth. So kind of keep that in mind. And you may not use it, but just remember that immigrant is to move to a different country. Okay, now everyday, which is all one word, versus everyday, which is two separate words. And we're thinking, really? So everyday means something that's very common. It happens a lot. It's, routine. And then the other one, it's each day. So each day, I want you to do whatever. So each day, every day, each. Have your open A hand shape, and you take the hand that you write with and you brush the back of the thumb on the hand that you do not write with. So if I'm left-handed, so it doesn't matter. It's the same sign. So every day is common and routine. Every day, I, get up, take a shower. So it's like each day, right? Is separate. It's each day. This needs to happen, but every day means that this is what a routine is. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't have. This is a routine. Is like every day I do the same thing in the same order, but each day is something that it doesn't matter the order, right? It just each day you do this. I know that sometimes it's like, what difference does it make, Eileen? And sometimes in sign language it just doesn't. Right? But you need to know what it means in English. And especially the first one with, are you all ready? So, we'll do this for all right? And there's an ALL-RIGHT or ALRIGHT. So it's just, sometimes we use it for that way, but sometimes like for rights or are you all right? And sometimes we use the same sign. Sometimes for like, are you ready? Ready? Or already? You should be finished it already. See, it makes a difference. Or it's an affected, or as a result, the effect of this, blah, blah, blah. And so that's really helpful to know that. But sometimes if you interchange it, it's okay, but it's really good to learn the differences. And some people have complained to me like, oh, you're just talking about this in English, just knowing English. In a sense, but you're really learning the concept so you can make sure that you're communicating correctly. It's not just, it can be fun, right? Language can be fun. It's not just a fun way, but also am I going to make this effective communication? Effective, right? So you want it to make a good communication. So just kind of think about it. And I know people are going, oh, I'm just not a word person, a wordsmith, and I wasn't either. But the meaning or the concept makes it easier and better, so you can kind of think about what is it that needs to be done, or how do I need to sign that. That's really, they'll understand what I'm saying, because otherwise they're going, it's just like, how when you read a book and your eyes go over that whole blacks, these little symbols that are letters, and then later you get to you go, I don't even know what I read. It's kind of the same thing if you're watching sign language and it's just words, right? Just signs, then people may not really get it effective. Like, what did she just say? I don't really know. So it's the same thing. Right? So we just want to make it a good, effective communication. So anyway, so play around with these words and the different conceptual signs and have fun with it and practice with your friends. I'll see you later. Bye.